Let's take a peek into one of the very evolved programs in the food industry worldwide. Food and food safety are critical for life of the human race. It continues to drive policies of businesses and countries and create probably sometimes unnecessary races too. Here's an example of a typical and evolved ecosystem. Try and understand the evolution and the kind of ramifications some of the initial steps have led to. You may have heard of the ISO standard 22000. It is about food safety management systems detailing the requirements of any organization in the food chain. There is a 5-year cycle to revise this standard. It lets you imagine timescales of progress and evolution. In some industries, this could be longer or shorter. Let's look at the infrastructure and some of the things around it. There is a food safety system certification scheme and another one for social compliance. There is a main scheme which is run by a legal entity and adopted and called in globally. There are several other variants of these standards which are followed in various countries. Here's how it is structured. Look at who is governing, because almost everything that is on this slide is actually public. It's on the websites. And in a way, it is consensus driven. As mentioned, you look at the organization structure, there is a foundation management board, which has technical operations, there is a brand strategy. This is all public information. There is a board of stakeholders for the advisory committee for the FSSC 22000 and 24000 as standards. The board of stakeholders are public. These are people who work for various other entities or businesses, etc. It is good to just look through them. And I would encourage you to look through programs which exist, which you are running, which you are visible, which are visible to you, and look through to understand who are the actual people behind it. This is going to be work coming out of this for your assignment. It can be a very insightful activity if you are not from the food industry. Enlist some of the programs in your region and create a mind map of stakeholders of these conformity programs. Not these on the screen, you could use them as well, but you could pick up one which is running in your country. What are the standards that they follow? What are the laws, if any, which create the need for it? Are these local laws in your country? Are these international laws? How is it that the conformity programs get implemented or get teeth? Are all the accreditation bodies and conformity bodies allowed to undertake these? Maybe they are driven by private procurement contracts in your country. In case you cannot find anything in your region or country, pick up one from these and research about them. These slides can give you a typical way to deep dive on how to analyze a given conformity program. So, in this case, the trust is established through this mechanism that you can see. There are accreditation bodies which are defined, and the 17 or 21 standard is mentioned. Similarly, you can see and read on how many conformity assessment bodies, which are actually listed for them, that run these programs. There are local, there are international, all over, who are allowed to or are running the conformity programs that exist. Think about how they have come to be. Are they all same? How would they compete with each other and why? Who are these supporters or stakeholder companies which are publicly listed as being part of development of the program? You would notice that there are some conformity bodies, there are some standard bodies, some of them are listed. And then again, there are accreditation bodies across the spectrum of region as well. Being part of the program and running the program, what is the kind of advantage that you think they gained on board? Take on this exercise, and I would love to see how is your approach evolving when you look at analyzing a given conformity program. This will go to a great length when you are designing your own.